Have you ever wondered if our ancient ancestors millions of years ago possessed technology? I'm not just talking about a few thousand years back with pyramids and Stonehenge. I mean millions of years ago. We often picture our early relatives as primitive, just surviving. But what if I told you they were masters of a technology so advanced it laid the foundation for everything we are today? It wasn't made of metal or circuits. It was a technology of life itself. Let's travel back about 2.5 million years. The world is a tough place. Our ancestors, like Homo habilis or handy man, are on the scene. They aren't the strongest or the fastest creatures around. So, how did they survive and eventually thrive? They developed the first revolutionary technology, the stone tool. Now I know what you're thinking. A sharp rock? That's technology? Absolutely. And it's far more complex than it sounds. This wasn't just about picking up any old rock. Early humans were geologists. They had to know which stones, like flint, chert, or obsidian, would fracture in a predictable way. They had to find the source of these rocks, sometimes traveling miles to a good quarry. This required mapping their environment, remembering locations, and even planning trips. This is the beginning of resource management. Then comes the manufacturing process, a technique called knapping. Imagine holding a core stone in one hand and a hammer stone in the other. You have to strike the core at the perfect angle with just the right amount of force to flake off a sharp piece. It's a combination of physics, engineering, and incredible hand-eye coordination. It's a skill that took years to master and was passed down through generations. Archaeologists have found ancient workshops littered with discarded flakes and failed attempts, showing just how much practice this took. Each successful flake was a razor-sharp blade, a prehistoric scalpel. So what did this Stone Age tech unlock? Everything. Suddenly, our ancestors could do things no other animal could. They could butcher a large carcass, slicing through tough hide and sinew to get to the calorie-rich meat and marrow inside. This wasn't just about getting a meal, it was about accessing a whole new level of nutrition. The high-energy food from meat and marrow fueled the development of our most power-hungry organ, the brain. Our brains started to grow, becoming more complex. This simple stone tool literally powered our own evolution. Beyond butchery, these tools were the Swiss Army knives of the Paleolithic. They could be used to sharpen a stick into a defensive spear, or a digging tool to unearth edible roots and tubers. They could scrape hides to be used for warmth and shelter. They could process plant materials, making them easier to eat. This technology allowed early humans to adapt to new environments, to extract more energy from their surroundings, and to defend themselves. It was the crucial advantage that let a relatively weak primate start climbing the food chain. But the technology wasn't just the tool itself, it was the idea behind the tool. It represents abstract thought. An early human had to look at a round stone and envision the sharp flake hidden inside. They had to plan a sequence of actions to get it out. This is the birth of design, of foresight, of problem-solving. This cognitive leap is the true miracle. And it leads to another incredible piece of ancient software, social technology. Making and using these tools wasn't a solo act. It fostered cooperation. Imagine a group hunting. Some individuals might be driving an animal, others might be ready with spears, and another group might be the butchers with the sharpest flakes, ready to process the kill. The knowledge of how to make the best tools was shared. Teaching a younger generation how to knap a stone was a fundamental form of education. This sharing of knowledge created culture. Different groups developed their own unique tool-making styles, like the Acheulean hand axe, a beautifully symmetrical teardrop-shaped tool that remained the dominant technology for over 1,000,000 years. 1,000,000 years! Can you imagine any single piece of our technology today lasting that long? The hand axe was so successful, so versatile, it spread across Africa, Asia, and Europe. It's a testament to the power of a good design. The next great technological leap was even more profound, the control of fire. This happened somewhere between 1.5 million and 400,000 years ago. Fire was a game changer on a scale that's hard to even comprehend. At its most basic, it provided warmth, allowing our ancestors to survive cold nights and expand into colder climates. It offered protection, keeping nocturnal predators at bay. A campfire became a safe zone, a focal point for the social group. But the true technological revolution of fire was cooking. Cooking food is a form of external digestion. It breaks down tough fibers and complex proteins, making food easier to chew and digest. This means our bodies could extract far more calories and nutrients from the same amount of food with less effort. Our jaws and teeth could become smaller because they didn't need to do as much heavy-duty chewing. The energy saved from digestion could be redirected elsewhere, once again to our growing brains. Think about the social implications. The campfire became the first living room. It's where the group gathered after a day's activities. It's where they shared food, where they shared stories, and where they strengthened social bonds. The light of the fire extended the day, giving them more time for social interaction, for tool-making, for planning. This is where language and culture could truly blossom. The act of sharing a cooked meal is a deeply human, communal experience that has its roots around a prehistoric campfire. These weren't just simple tricks for survival. Stone tools and the control of fire were foundational technologies that fundamentally re-engineered our ancestors' bodies, minds, and societies. The stone tool was the hardware that allowed us to reshape our world. The control of fire was the power source that fueled our biological and social development. And the social cooperation required for both was the software, the operating system that allowed human culture to emerge. So when we think of ancient technology, let's think beyond mysterious artifacts we can't explain. Let's appreciate the genius innovations that we can. The ability to see a tool inside a rock, the skill to bring it out, and the wisdom to gather around a fire. These are the technologies that took us from being just another primate to the species that would one day walk on the moon. They are the greatest inventions of all time, because they invented us. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this fascinating, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the past. See you next time.